So you're thinking of moving to Kansas City and the surrounding areas like Leawood, Kansas, but you've got some questions. You want to know the pros and the cons, the good and the bad before moving to Leawood. Well, in this video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to share with you because, here's the deal. Leawood, Kansas is one of the top cities to live in Kansas, according to niche.com. Leawood actually is the #1 place for the best public schools in Kansas, the #1 best suburbs to buy a house in Kansas, and the #1 best suburb to live in Kansas. And with such high rankings, you already know there are going to be some great pros to living in Leawood, but you'll want to stick around to the very end because there are some cons that you need to be aware of as well. And so today we're going to share with you a pro and then a con and go back and forth so that you know both the good and the bad of the pros and cons before making that decision to move to Leawood, Kansas. And we're going to get after it right now. So if this is your first time on our channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Kansas City and the surrounding areas like Leawood, Kansas, then make sure that you subscribe below and tap the bell guys, for notifications so that you can be the very first to know about the current market here in Leawood. Hello, my name is Jimmy Ezel. My wife Nikki and I are part of the Living in Kansas City team, and we get phone calls, text messages, and emails every single day from people just like you and you and you. And so whether you're looking to move in 7 days or 7 months, feel free to reach out to us, as all of our contact information is in the description box below. We'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Leawood, Kansas. Now, before we dive into here, to the pros and cons, I want to share with you, I'm actually in Leawood right here at Park Place, and this is one of the most vibrant spots in Leawood. You're going to find the perfect blend of modern retail, entertainment, including an ice rink, and there's so much more to Leawood's story. Now, as we explore, I want to just give you a quick dive into the history of this beautiful city and share some exciting future plans that will make Leawood even better in the years to come. So let's take a step back to the early days of Leawood. Did you know that Leawood wasn't even incorporated until 1948? This city has relatively modern roots compared to others in the Kansas City metro area, and it all began when a man named Oscar G. Lee, who was an attorney and land developer, acquired this land in the 1920s. He saw potential in the area and began plotting out the foundation for what would later become Leawood. And so the city got its name from Oscar Lee himself, Leawood, right? Combining his name with the idea of a wooded, tranquil environment. Originally, it was like a small suburban community designed to offer residents, an escape from the hustle and bustle of Kansas City, while still being close enough to the action. Now, fast forward to today, and Leawood has grown into a thriving city with over 30,000 residents. But despite its growth, it has maintained its charm and commitment to community living. Places like Park Place show how Leawood has blended, modern development with its core suburban feel. Park Place is just a hub of activity, home to upscale shops, restaurants, and spaces for outdoor concerts and community events. And it really reflects the city's balance of tradition and progress. This growth hasn't come at the expense of green spaces either. Leawood boasts over 550 acres of parkland. So whether you're into hiking at Ironwoods Park or just enjoying a peaceful afternoon in one of the many smaller parks, there's always something going on for nature lovers. And so looking forward, Leawood's future is just as exciting as its past. The city is working on several projects aimed at expanding its already impressive park system, improving infrastructure, and enhancing sustainability. There's a strong focus on maintaining that perfect balance between development and preserving the natural beauty that makes Leawood, so special. One key project in the works is the expansion of the Iron Horse Golf Club, improving the city's outdoor recreational offerings. Plus, Leawood is also considering plans for more pedestrian-friendly developments, making it easier for residents to really enjoy places like Park Place without needing to rely so much on their cars. So Leawood is definitely undergoing several exciting, developments that will enhance the community in both residential and commercial aspects. One of the most notable projects is actually the East Leawood Village. It's located at 135th and State Line Road. This massive 114-acre development, 652 luxury apartments, 24 twin villas, condos, single-family homes, and additionally, there will be a 100-unit assisted living center there as well. So 100,000 square feet of retail space. I mean, it's massive. 250,000 square feet of office space. About 40% of that land is actually going to be dedicated to green spaces, including 9 parks, which will preserve the natural beauty of Leawood while offering modern living spaces. Another exciting part of Leawood's future plans is the integration of mixed-use developments, combining both residential areas with commercial and entertainment offerings. This will make areas like East Village a hub for activity. Walkable neighborhoods, high-end dining, shopping, and community events like food trucks and movie nights. These developments show Leawood's commitment to balancing growth with community-centered living, making it just a desirable destination for both families and professionals. With that, let's dive into the pros and cons of Leawood, Kansas. I'm here actually in Park Place. You can kind of hear them already. I tried to get here early, but they're already out here getting it ready and beautified and everything. But just know this, in the Park Place, and I'll try to, here's one of our favorite places for sushi, raw sushi. Oh my gosh. Coffee shop right here. Mother Collectors is right behind me. And so I don't know how much you can see, but anyways, so let's do this. Let's jump into the pros and cons of Leawood, and we're gonna get after it right now.
Today we're gonna take a deep dive into Leawood, Kansas, both the good and the not so good. We're gonna talk about the top pros and the cons of living here, giving you the full picture before you make any decisions about moving to Leawood, Kansas. Now, whether you're thinking about relocating or just want to know more about this beautiful city, this video is for you. So let's get started. I want to start off with the first pro, and that is the top-rated schools. One of the biggest draws for families moving to Leawood is the amazing school system. I mean, the Blue Valley and the Shawnee Mission school districts are not only top-rated in Kansas, but they're also recognized nationwide for their academic excellence. Now, let's start with Blue Valley. This district has a 97% graduation rate, and their focus on both academics as well as real-world learning is unparalleled. I mean, we know several students that have graduated from the school district and they loved their experience there, plus the parents loved it as well. Programs like Blue Valley's CAPS, Center for Advanced Professional Studies, allows high school students to get hands-on experience in fields like medicine, engineering, and even in business. So imagine your child getting a head start in these industries before they even graduate. Now, Shawnee Mission, which serves like the northern side of Leawood, is another exceptional district. It offers modern learning environments, including experiential learning programs at the Center for Academic Achievement. This means that students really aren't just sitting around in a classroom, they're out actually in the real world getting real experience. And the facilities in these districts are just top tier with the latest technology to help students thrive. I mean, a lot of kids with their own iPads and things like that. So for families that are focused on education, this is going to be a great place for them. But also just remember this, it does come with this education, does come a price tag with it, right? So for families prioritizing education, Leawood is a fantastic place to raise kids, but just keep this in mind. This quality comes at a cost, which leads us to our first con, and that first con is the high cost of living. As great as the schools are, the cost of living in Leawood is definitely on the higher side. Housing prices here are almost 91% above the national average. The median home price is about $647,000, and it's not just the cost of housing that's elevated. Groceries, healthcare, and services also tend to be more expensive than other parts of the country and even around Kansas. So for those of you that are used to paying less for daily expenses, moving to Leawood can feel like a bit of a shock. It's an affluent area and the cost of living reflects that. This isn't to say it's unaffordable for everyone, but you'll want to make sure that your budget can handle the increase in cost if you're moving from a more affordable city or state. The higher cost of living in Leawood is the norm. I mean, from shopping with high-end brands and specialty shops to great restaurants with great food and service, and even the supermarket prices tend to be a little higher. So on the upside, those high costs are often matched by a higher quality of life. So it really depends on your financial situation. Our next pro, though, is going to be the thriving community and the entertainment. Leawood is not just about great schools, it's also about community. If you're someone who values a connected, thriving neighborhood, this is the place for you. Leawood offers something for everyone, whether you're a nature lover or someone who prefers the hustle and bustle of a shopping center with more affluent neighborhoods and higher HOAs. You'll also find that there are more activities in some of the neighborhoods and subdivisions that you're looking into. So for those of you that enjoy the outdoors, you have Ironwoods Park, which is a local park that has 115 acres, hiking, trails, picnics. Then you have the Prairie Oak Nature Center, which also offers educational programs for families inside there. Now, whether you're hiking with your dog or having a family day out, the parks here are beautifully maintained and provide a breath of fresh air from the city life. Now, if you prefer indoor activities, head over to like Town Center Plaza, Park Place, or even Prairie Fire. Town Center Plaza and Park Place are the hubs for shopping and dining. Lots of popular brands and quality food and service at many of the restaurants and eateries there in both Town Center Plaza as well as Park Place. At Prairie Fire, you'll find an array of restaurants, high-end shops, and even the American Museum of Natural History is there with its traveling exhibits. This is one of the area's most popular attractions, blending both education and entertainment. It's perfect for families, date nights, or just a fun day out shopping and dining. But as we move on to the cons, you'll see that getting around Leawood can be a bit challenging without a car. So our next con is actually the limited public transportation. Leawood is part of the Kansas City metro area, but it doesn't have the same level of public transportation you might find in a major city. In fact, public transit options here are pretty limited. So, if you're used to relying on buses, trains, or subways, this might be a tough adjustment. Almost certainly need a car to get around, whether it's, commuting to work or running daily errands. The commute to downtown Kansas City is about 20-25 minutes by car. But if you're taking public transport, that time could easily double. For some people, this isn't a huge deal. After all, Leawood is a suburban community and many of its residents expect to drive. But if you're used to car-free living or you prefer a city with robust public transit options, this is something that you'll need to really think about. I did a full map tour video that you can check out to learn more about the area and transportation options. And so go look for that video as well. But just know this, if you're, used to living inside of the city where you can just, hop on the bus or ride your bikes around or anything like that, you won't actually find that in the suburban part of living in Leawood. Now, our next pro is going to be the safe and family-friendly environment. One of the reasons Leawood is so popular with families is its low crime rate. In fact, Leawood has one of the lowest crime rates in all of Kansas, with violent crime rates down by nearly 89% compared to the national average. So for families looking for a safe place to raise children, this is a huge plus. I know personally, when we looked at areas to move to, when our kids were younger, schools and safety were some of our top priorities. So when raising a family, you want that peace of mind that you can put your head down at night and know that you live in a safe neighborhood, and Leawood definitely delivers that. The community is close-knit with neighbors looking out for one another, and then the local police force does a great job of maintaining safety. It's the kind of place where you feel comfortable letting your kids play outside or taking a walk through throughout the neighborhood at night. This safety factor plays a big role in making Leawood a very desirable place to live for families. However, the quiet suburban lifestyle isn't for everyone, as we'll see with our next con. And so our next con is going to be the lack of nightlife and art scene. If you're someone who loves a bustling nightlife or a thriving art scene, Leawood might feel a little too quiet for your taste. While it's perfect for families and those who appreciate a quieter, more laid-back lifestyle, it lacks the vibrant social scene that you might find in a bigger city. For live music, theater, or art galleries, you'll need to head into downtown Kansas City, which is, it's only about 20 minutes away. Leawood itself has great dining and shopping options, but it doesn't have the late night energy or cultural events that some people crave. If you're okay with a quick drive into the city, for nightlife, then this might not be a big deal breaker for you. There are still plenty of events to do during the day, and throughout the year in Leawood and the surrounding suburbs as well. But if you're looking for a place with a more active social scene, it's something, to consider, because Leawood really doesn't have that. And so definitely be on the lookout for that. Now, our next pro is the affluent and well-maintained neighborhoods. Another major perk of living in Leawood is the overall quality of its neighborhoods. The homes here are stunning, with well-manicured lawns, clean streets, and a sense of pride and ownership that really shows. The median household income in Leawood is actually over $200,000. So that means most residents enjoy a high standard of living. The houses range from older, charming homes to brand new luxury builds. So there's something for everyone's taste if you could afford it. I mean, you'll find the homes here to have more square foot and even larger lots in many of the subdivisions and neighborhoods. These neighborhoods are, meticulously maintained, making Leawood, one of the most beautiful and desirable places to live in Kansas City metro area. And when you drive around the city, there are so many examples of higher end neighborhoods in $1 million mansions to remind you that you live in an affluent city. And so that definitely is a pro for people. Now, that leads us to our next con though, and that is weather extremes. Living in Leawood means that you're gonna have to deal with some pretty extreme weather. Summers can get hot and humid with temperatures often rising into the 90s. Ladies, get ready for some hot, humid, and muggy days that may make your hair flat. I mean, it can feel like an outdoor sauna during, the summer months. Thankfully, many people have pools or neighborhood pools to cool off to, or they can go to the aquatic center to cool down. And in the winters, they can bring the snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. In the winter months, when Kansas City has snow or ice storms, it's definitely best to watch the local news and weather because some of the days it's just better just to stay home when there are early morning accidents all over the city. But the most significant weather risk is Kansas has tornadoes. Leawood sits on the edge of Tornado Alley. And while tornadoes aren't, a daily occurrence, they are something you need to be prepared for, especially if you're moving from an area where you're not used to, tornadoes. Just be aware of those. When the sirens come on and warn you to take cover, just be aware of it. And then severe thunderstorms are also common during the spring and summer. The snow, ice, and rain can cause some traffic delays, so be definitely be prepared for that. And if you're not a fan of unpredictable weather, this might be a drawback, especially if you're used to more temperate climates. As someone who has lived in Kansas City area for more than 35 years total, we're used to the extreme weather, but if you're not, at least be prepared for it because we definitely have that here. Our last and final pro is the proximity to Kansas City. This is one of the greatest things about Leawood is because it's so close to Kansas City. You get the best of both worlds. You get the quiet suburban lifestyle with all the amenities of a big city just a short drive away. So, you're about 20 minutes from downtown Kansas City, which means that you can enjoy the restaurants, the entertainment, and all the events that the city has to offer without having to live in the middle of the hustle and bustle of downtown Kansas City. So whether it's catching a Chiefs game, a Royals game, or the KC Current game on the Missouri side, or enjoying sporting KC at the Legend side, you're still close to all the major sporting events. Enjoying a night out at the Power and Light District, the Kauffman Center, go and see the new Ferris wheel. It's all just heading into the city. Or even if you're going to get some more of the best barbecue, it's all downtown Kansas City. You've got Country Club Plaza. You can still go to the Legends outlets if you're wanting more shopping. And so it's definitely close enough to you there in Leawood that you can retreat back into the calm suburban life of Leawood. And so that's a huge part of, being out in Leawood is that proximity to Kansas City. You can still have everything that you want in a bigger city, literally within 20-minute drive. And then, of course, even in some of the other suburbs that where Leawood is positioned, you can go to other suburbs like Overland Park, Prairie Village, Lenexa, Shawnee for even some more fun as well. Our last and final con is the affluent bubble and the lack of economic diversity. That said, Leawood's affluence can create a bit of a bubble. While the city is beautiful and offers a high standard of living, there's less economic diversity in Leawood compared to other parts of Kansas City, in the metro area, or even if you live in a bigger city. So if you're used to a more locally economic diverse culture, then Leawood might not have that for you. So if you're used to living in a more economically diverse area, this may feel a bit isolating. The lack of a variety of local businesses and different economic levels can make the community feel somewhat homogenous. It's not a secret to the locals when they think of, Leawood, Kansas. It's a more affluent area of Kansas City. While many appreciate the upscale nature of the city, others may prefer a more mixed environment. So keep that in mind. That's definitely can be a con for some people. So there you have it, the pros and the cons of living in Leawood, Kansas. From top-rated schools and safe, family-friendly neighborhoods to a higher cost of living and limited public transportation, there's a lot to consider. And as always, it comes down to your personal preferences and what you're looking for in a community. If you have any questions about life in Leawood or you're thinking about making the move, feel free to reach out to us. Also, if you live in Leawood, we would love for you to share your experiences of living in Leawood. Others love seeing those comments, and it really does help. So drop those comments in our video here. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want more updates and videos just like this one. So if you're looking to buy or sell in Leawood, we'd be happy to help you. We've got a great team that has been having lots of success in getting buyers' offers accepted and sellers selling their homes even faster. We utilize some strategies that others don't do to really benefit our buyers and sellers, and we love seeing them, seeing our clients go through this process and enjoying that process as well. So whether you're moving in 7 days or 7 months, remember, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you make that smooth move to Leawood, Kansas. Give us a call, send us a text, email us. All of our information is in the description box below. And just remember this, our wish for you is that your buying and selling process is seamless so that you can focus on creating those memories for yourself and your family, and that you'll love living in Kansas City and the suburbs like Leawood, Kansas as much as we do. So until then, we hope to see you around town.